No way. Himawari was caught and sealed in the Biju tree. This is the end of Himawari. Jura intends to catch Himawari to eat her. And that's because the instinct possessed by Jura shows that Himawari has Kyubi Chakra. And by eating Himawari, then Jura will get all the answers he has been looking for. Besides, this is something you won't believe. Kurama has returned. Kurama will not die, because Kurama is the embodiment of a chakra. Kurama has returned and was born like a baby, and now Himawari is the next successor. Hello guys. Welcome back to my channel. Finally, Boruto Chapter 9 has been released. After 1 month we waited for some theories and predictions we discussed on this channel. And now the original manga has been published, and some of the theories in the previous video almost 100% appear in this chapter. Starting with Himawari's kidnapping and the fight between Boruto and also Kawaki, and so on. Although not 100% of our predictions are correct, there are some very interesting points that are finally answered in Chapter 9. And without long, let's get started. This Chapter 9 we get a new cover. That's right, this is Team 10. They are Inogen, Shikadai, and also Chako. In the previous episode, the Shinju came to attack Konoha. They killed Konoha's Jounin. Jura's arrival was to find Uzumaki Naruto. Jura, who came with Hidari, did not find Naruto, but instead he met Naruto's daughter, Himawari. And now Himawari and the Central 10 team are facing Shinju. Shinju Jura, who intended to come to Konoha to look for Naruto, seemed to look upset. The person he was looking for wasn't there, but instead he met this little girl, Himawari. Jura didn't expect that this little girl had the Kyubi Chakra. Jura thought that Naruto came to her, but it wasn't Naruto but Himawari. Team 10 led by Shikadai seemed to look quite worried. Shikadai, who was currently dealing with the Shinju, immediately rushed to contact the censor team and immediately asked for help. But before help arrived, Shikadai asked Jura, "What business did you come here for? Hurry up and leave before the Konoha ninjas kill you." But Jura saw them just relaxing and immediately took out a book. That's right guys, Jura read the information he had. Jura seemed to remember those little shinobi, that they were part of the Hokage's son and students of Moegi, a Konoha shinobi who had turned into a Shinju named Matsuri. But after that, Jura explained that his arrival was following the instructions of Uzumaki Naruto. "And I'm honestly a bit surprised at what I'm seeing right now," said Jura. Those who heard Jura's words looked quite confused. But Inogen explained that the 7th Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki, was not in Konoha. Uzumaki Naruto has been gone since 3 years ago. Shikadai, who heard Inogen's words, told him to stop talking. Jura, who knew from the beginning, understood. "I can sense Naruto because of the Kyubi Chakra that I can sense, and that's why I came to Konoha," said Jura. Himawari and Team 10 became quite confused by what the fist said. They didn't seem to understand what Kyubi was about. In addition, Chako, who saw Jura for the first time, felt quite strange about the appearance and also the words he said. Chako thinks that this person must be very dangerous. Himawari, who heard about Kyubi, became silent. And Shikadai also asked Jura, what is the relationship between Himawari and Kyubi? But certainly Jura could not explain. He was still very confused. He felt that there were many very mysterious things that he did not know. But hearing that question, I felt interested, said Jura, and at the same time, Jura immediately took out the Shinju tree from under the ground and immediately sealed Himawari. Himawari had been caught by the Jura's Shinju tree, but Team 10's response was very fast. Shikadai immediately used Kagemain no Jutsu to bind the tree with his shadow, and Inogen immediately drew a chameleon and caught Himawari through the tongue of the chameleon. Himawari finally managed to escape from the Shinju tree thanks to the help of Team 10. Chako, who saw Himawari was saved. Chako immediately caught her. Jura, who saw the teamwork of Team 10, seemed to be quite amazed. "They seem to be amazing," said Jura. After Himawari was saved, Jura, who recognized the greatness of their cooperation, made an offer. "I make an offer to you. I will not attack or hurt you. But as an offer, I want to ask you to hand over Uzumaki Himawari to me, and after that you can leave. However, if you refuse, I have no other choice. I will be forced to attack you all and take Himawari," said Jura. And at the same time, Shikamaru immediately contacted his son, Shikadai. Are you okay? Then how are things there? Is anyone injured? Quickly explain to me, said Shikamaru. Shikadai immediately explained to his father that their target was Himawari. I don't know why the Shinju want Himawari, but one thing is certain, it has to do with Kyubi, said Shikadai. Shikamaru, who heard his son's explanation, immediately became surprised. Himawari, who was now under Chako's protection, became quite confused. Himawari, who saw Jura, felt strange. What is their intention? What is their purpose? Why me? What do they really want from me? Said Himawari. On the other hand, we see Amato in his office. Through a monitor, he monitors Kawaki. He sees Kawaki unconscious due to the attack given by Jura. Amato, who saw Shinju, and also Kawaki, looked quite surprised. What happened? What's wrong with this guy? Why does he look quite strong and strange? Amato said. Then we move to a place, in a forest quite far from Konoha. We see Boruto sitting. He holds his hand and feels the karma in his hand, giving another sign. Kashin Koji, who was with Boruto at that time, immediately said, Boruto, they have started the attack. Kashin Koji got information through his Mayaboka frog. The frog was assigned by Kaizen Koji to monitor the state of Konoha. And sure enough, guys, the frog saw Konoha shinobi being killed by Shinju. Kaizen Koji, who ordered Boruto to move immediately, Boruto asked, Where? Do we have to go to Konoha now? Asked Boruto to Kaizen Koji. Then Kashin Koji said, Right? Go now with Mayaboka frog. Boruto, using his jutsu assisted by Kaizen Koji's frog, has now moved to Konoha. Then we move again to Konoha. At that time, Jura was discussing with the team. Jura made an offer to hand over Himawari, otherwise Jura would take her by force. Shikadai asked. He asked to say what exactly his purpose was. Tell me, you came here to follow the clues about Naruto, right? And why are you now only focusing on Himawari? Why? Asked Shikadai to Jura. In a Hokage room, Shikamaru was still monitoring them and listening to the conversation between Team 10 and Shinju. Then Jura explained, guys. Actually, the clue I mean is the Kyubi itself, and now I get the chakra Kyubi reaction from Uzumaki Himawari. And because of that I want Himawari, said Jura. What do you mean, don't you know? Kyubi is gone. Kyubi is no longer there, said Shikadai. Himawari, who heard the explanation from Shinju, seemed to understand a little, although not completely. Seeing the condition of Himawari, who looked quite scared and confused, Chako gave a hug and tried to calm Himawari down. Calm down, Himawari. This is a mistake. This person doesn't understand anything. There is no way you will become the target of this Shinju. Chako said to Himawari. Just like you said, little girl. I can't believe it either. I was surprised too. Why did this happen? Why the Kyubi Chakra that I felt wasn't on Naruto? Instead, it was the opposite. I only felt the Kyubi Chakra on this little girl. I don't know why it's like this. But one thing is certain, Uzumaki Himawari. By eating you, I will get the answer to all this uncertainty, said Jura. And at the same time, Team 10 was shocked. Shikada, who knew that Jura wanted to eat Himawari, became anxious. He seemed to not believe it. And sure enough, guys, Jura gave the last warning. He gave the opportunity to Team 10 to give Himawari to him. All of you, Ino Shika Cho, this is the last warning. Surrender now and hand over Himawari to me. But before that happens, we move to the Hokage room. Shikamaru is seen asking other shinobi for help. He said, the current location is northwest of Sector D. Hurry up, Team 10 is in danger. However, at the same time, suddenly Koji's Kashin frog was behind Shikamaru. Hi Shikamaru, I'm behind you. And then Shikamaru looked back. Then the frog asked to connect himself to Ino Yamanaka. Boruto has entered Konoha, said the frog. Then we moved to a place where Kawaki had regained consciousness. Delta, who saw Kawaki too. You finally came to your senses. Don't make me worry like this. If you get hurt, I don't know what to tell Ida. So don't make me worry. Kawaki, who heard Delta's words very loudly, asked him not to say that in front of his ears. Because it really bothered me. Because I've just recovered. If you're like that, it will interfere with my recovery, Kawaki said. Then at the same time, Delta said, Hey Kawaki, you have almost invincible regeneration. No matter how many wounds you receive, it will not have a fatal effect on your body. So next time think first. And don't be too hasty. Hearing Delta's words, Kawaki seemed to realize something. Delta, who did not feel what Kawaki felt, immediately invited him to go to Sector D right now. But Kawaki asked him to wait a moment. Kawaki felt that there was one more person who would come to see him. Kawaki, who is currently half recovered, said, "Show yourself, uninvited guest." And sure enough, guys, Boruto has come. He and Mayaboku Frog are already in front of Delta and Kawaki. Boruto, who saw the Jonin killed, seemed to realize something. This is clearly the wood element, and it is definitely their doing, Boruto said. But at the same time, Shikamaru tried to contact Boruto. "Boruto, can you hear me?" As before, this is a very unofficial call, Shikamaru said. Then Boruto responded, "That I heard it. There are 2 enemies in Konoha village. They must be the Shinju you mentioned before. Apparently they were after Naruto, but I just got the latest information that they are now after Himawari. I don't know why those fists are targeting Himawari," Shikamaru said to Boruto. Boruto, who heard Shikamaru's words that the Shinju were targeting Himawari, looked quite confused. "Himawari? Why? What's wrong with Himawari?" said Boruto. But Shikamaru explained, "It seems that the trigger is the Kyubi Chakra, and this has something to do with the Kyubi in Naruto's body. Do you have any ideas, Boruto?" asked Shikamaru. On the other hand, Boruto was also surprised if the Shinju was targeting Kyubi. Then Kawaki, who was now awake, tried to contact the sensor unit. Kawaki informed that he found the intruder, and it was Boruto. He probably removed his chakra so that it was not detected. Kawaki informed the sensor team that Boruto was near the main gate, where the Jounin were killed. Kawaki immediately asked Boruto, "Why did you sneak in here? Are you a friend of those monsters, Boruto?" But before Boruto answered Kawaki's question, Boruto asked the 8th Hokage to give him a minute, because Kawaki had found him. Shikamaru, who heard Boruto's words, that Kawaki had found Boruto, was surprised. "What? How did you find yourself?" But Boruto asked Kawaki a question. "What's the difference with you? Why do you look so relaxed when Konoha is under attack?" Kawaki immediately replied to Boruto's words. "Are you not self-aware, Boruto? You are the enemy of Konoha. Have you forgotten?" Then Boruto retorted, "Enough of your nonsense. We have to deal with them first. So, will you come with me?" Boruto tried to negotiate Kawaki and tried to get him to work together to protect Konoha from the Shinju attack. Kawaki, who was surprised, asked. Sure enough, Kawaki showed his haughty attitude. "Are you underestimating me, Boruto?" Kawaki flatly refused what Boruto offered. Kawaki immediately tried to attack Boruto with his black rod. And this is in accordance with the leak that I gave in the previous video. Kawaki attacked Boruto with his black rod, just like Ishiki did. But Boruto managed to avoid the black rod. After Kawaki unsuccessfully attacked Boruto, Boruto casually tried to approach Kawaki. And at the same time, when Boruto walked up to Kawaki, Kawaki immediately took out his black rod again to attack Boruto. But again, Boruto easily dodged the attack. Having unsuccessfully attacked Boruto with the black rod, Kawaki immediately took out the claws that were in his hand to attack Boruto. And once again, Boruto easily parried the attack and hit Kawaki in the stomach. The blow made Kawaki bounce quite far. Delta, who saw Boruto attack Kawaki so easily, became quite surprised. How can Boruto now be so much stronger than Kawaki? Kawaki, who had just received a blow from Boruto, felt a lot of pain in his stomach. Boruto, who saw Kawaki defeated so easily, then said, "This is very sad, Kawaki. Why are you so weak? You haven't practiced seriously, right?" asked Boruto to Kawaki. Hearing that word, Delta responded, "How about you, Boruto? How much have you practiced so that you can be strong like this?" But before the question was answered, Kawaki immediately activated his karma. But this is unexpected, guys. Suddenly, at the same time, Boruto's karma resonates. Seeing Kawaki's karma active, Boruto's karma is also active. Boruto, who felt the spread of karma was so fast, tried to hold it back so that karma would not spread throughout his body. Then the Mayaboku frog that was in Boruto's robe also looked at it anxiously. It resonates due to Kawaki's active karma, so your karma is also active. And if this continues, then something bad will happen. Boruto, you should leave now. If this continues, then you will not be able to control it, and the Mamashiki will take over your body, said the frog to Boruto. Then Boruto immediately rushed away and flew away, leaving Kawaki and also Delta. Seeing Boruto leave, Delta asked questions. Why did he leave? What was going on exactly? Kawaki, who felt confused, looked at karma in his hand. Kawaki said what was going on. Why couldn't he control the karma in his body? Then we move to Konoha again, guys. This time Inogen and Himawari middle are flying through the bird. And at the same time, the bird tried to attack Jura. And this shows a very good formation. When the bird tried to attack Jura, Shikadai immediately tied Jura with his jutsu. "Don't move, we are your opponents here," Shikadai said. However, Jura immediately took out a Biju Dama that was released through his Rinnegan eyes. He tried to attack them, but before the Biju Dama was fired, Chaco quickly tried to push Jura with his big hand jutsu. Chaco managed to make the Biju Dama go elsewhere and Shikadai survived. And after that the Biju Dama exploded elsewhere. And from the Biju Dama explosion, Himawari and Team 10 were shocked. The explosion was so powerful that it destroyed several buildings in Konoha village. Then at the same time, Sarada and Sumire noticed the explosion and immediately rushed to the location. "Over there. Hurry up. We have to help them immediately," Sumire said. "Himawari-chan, guys, I hope you're okay," Sarada said silently while heading to the location. But unfortunately, Shikadai received an effect from the Biju Dama explosion. Shikadai tried to communicate through Shitensen and asked Inogen to pick her and Chaco up. "Himawari-chan, hold on tight. We're going to go and get Shikadai and Chaco." And after that, Inogen's bird successfully carried Shikadai and Chaco. Jura, who had just woken up, saw that the bird managed to carry Shikadai, Chaco, and also Himawari. Hidari didn't help what the Jura were doing. "Would it be okay to let them escape?" asked Hidari. "My target is Uzumaki Himawari. All they have to do is hand her over and I will stop." Although they understand the purpose of what I have to do, they seem ready to continue fighting to protect Himawari, even if they have to sacrifice their lives in the end, said Jura. Hearing Jura's explanation, Hidari said that they were stupid little children. "They have no intelligence," said Hidari. But Jura said again, "That's not the case. There seems to be something, an instinct why they do and protect Himawari even though their lives are at stake. I don't understand. And it will be an important piece of information for us if we manage to capture Himawari," said Jura. Shikadai, who realizes something, understands something. As long as we are near Maori, the Shinju will not attack and release a strong attack like that again. That's right, guys. The Shinju won't hurt Himawari because Himawari is the goal. Then Shikadai made another plan. He ordered to group up and try to figure out the next step. Then Team 10 and also Himawari flew away from that place through the Inogen bird. "Almost, if we were hit by that shot then we were destroyed," they said. As they were in the middle of flying, Coco made a suggestion. "With events like this, aren't we better off leaving the village? Because we have provoked the anger of the Shinju." Himawari looked quite worried. She daydreamed. Then Himawari asked Inogen to take her down. "Whatever the place is, let me escape alone," Himawari said to them. Hearing Himawari's words, they were quite surprised. "It's impossible if you run away alone. You can't be faster than them." Himawari, who heard that remark, seemed quite desperate. "Even with everyone, we are no match for those Shinju. And if it continues, then others will." And suddenly, before her words were continued, Himawari felt a strangeness. And in that moment, Himawari felt like she was somewhere else. Ready is right. This is a place under the subconscious where Naruto met the Kyubi. Himawari looked confused. She didn't know where she was. But on the other hand, Shikadai was talking to Himawari. "Hey, Hima, what's wrong with you? Why are you daydreaming?" But Himawari did not respond to the words said by Shikadai. She was just silent and her mind was blank. Then Himawari, who was under consciousness, wondered, "Where is this?" Then suddenly behind Himawari saw Kurama standing. Then Kurama said, "Gosh, I didn't think I would meet in a place like this." Then we see Himawari looking back, and she sees Kurama. Himawari looks quite confused why she can meet Kurama, who at that time Kurama, who looks very small in size. Then Kurama asked, "Little girl, do you know who I am?" Himawari, who saw Kurama, became very confused. She was surprised and couldn't believe what she was seeing right now. Then Himawari responded to Kurama's question. "You're Kyubi, right?" But before that continued, the episode in Chapter 9 was finished. And yes, this is the water part of Chapter 9. I apologize if there are some of my words or explanations that are wrong. And if you notice that, please comment below and let me know. So that's it for the full episode of Boruto Chapter 9. iits'Nime. Don't forget to click subscribe and also like. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Date Bayo.